Good morning, everyone. I am Praful Gazre, your host for the day. I welcome you all to the fifth Responsible Netism National Cyber Psychology Virtual Conference on Coping with Technology NEP 2020 and New Normal. With the new changes in the space of education through the NEP 20 and inclusion of technology as a facilitator of education, are we ready to embrace the new normal? Responsible Netism 5th National Cyber Psychology Virtual Conference 2021 would effectively use the power of technology to brainstorm on critical issues children and educators have faced while adapting the technology. Here, I take the opportunity to introduce to our first line.
Praful is muted. Praful has been muted.
She is the founder of Responsible Netism and President Ahan Foundation. We also have Mr. Purnendu Kumar from Cyber Peace Foundation. May I request for the lighting of the lamp, please? We also have Mr. Satej Patil, Sri Satej Patil, Minister of State for Home and IT for Government of Maharashtra. He has supported us in the last conference too. He is very proactive, highly encouraging and supportive of our work. We also have one of our eminent guests for the day, retired Lieutenant General Dr. Rajesh Pant, Chief National Cyber Security Coordinator, Government of India. He is a very approachable and tech-savvy person. His role in the current profile would bring in hope in space of cyber security, especially towards child online protection. We look forward to working under his guidance. I request Mr. Satej Patil to declare the conference is open and give his speech, please. Mr. Satej Patil, over to you.
Good morning, everyone. I wouldn't take much of your time by taking everybody's mentioning everybody, but I should mention Rajesh Panji because he's been the key holder in these issues. Welcome everybody on this conference. I'm thankful to Unmesh ji and his Responsible Netism organization for inviting me on this fifth conference. As we all know, these issues related to which the conference is being held. And I'm happy that the issue is being discussed at length and given importance. Because as we all know, the penetration of internet has increased tenfold in our country and worldwide. As we know, the estimates of smartphone being used is more than 50 crores and it would cross more than 80 crores in 2022. Considering this background, the challenges which we face, and in that regard, in that respect, we should update ourselves and we should be ready to face these challenges. That's what I feel, because the access of information is at a click to everybody. And as we see, the optics of internet is changing day and day by, and the rural areas also are getting a great network in it, and people are more using internet for lot many purposes. And as government also, we are on all internet platforms trying to do lot many things in this regard. So I think this conference will certainly help lot many issues. As we have seen in this pandemic also, depression, anxiety and isolation had created lot many mental illness. Probably if 4-5 years back, if we had talked about mental illness, probably people would shy to talk about it. But now we see that everybody is coming forward and talking about these experiences regarding the mental illness. And it is truth. The screen time which is being consumed by everybody, I wouldn't say only youngsters, this mental illness or the depression, anxiety, these issues are concerned with across the age because of the screen time usage overall, if we see. So I think for our future, this will be a challenging issue for everybody to tackle this issue. Because as we see, I am handling information technology department as well as home department also. And we have seen 2015 we had only 2015 we had only 2015 crimes registered in cybercrime. But in 2019, we had around more than 4,500 crimes officially registered at the police station. And if we see from January to July this month, what June 2020 we are talking about, it's more than 3,000 crimes which have been registered. So that gives a clear picture of what is the scenario on ground. I feel we as a stakeholders from all aspects need to cater to these things and deliver what we can do. As a home department, we have created our own cyber cell. We have created every cyber police station, one cyber police station in every district. We have trained more than 1,000 police personnel to look into these issues. Because as we see, trolling and on child pornography, a lot many issues are there which all of us know are coming forward. And in this era, I think as a home department also, we are trying our level best to train our people in these aspects. Now we are getting lot many learned constables in this fraternity. So we are trying to see that these people can be given special jobs in this regard to cybercrime. And as I said, more than 1,000 people have been trained across Maharashtra to to have to study the laws which can be implemented in all these issues. As we see that fake news has become a big challenge for a country like ours, which is a secular country, which believes in brotherhood. But I think fake news is a biggest challenge for everybody. And as we know, lie moves faster. The speed of lie is faster than the truth, I think. So probably we have to counter this. And at the same time, as we see, our eminent speakers would be talking on lot many issues today. I hope the audience will also get to know more things. But I think Unmesh ji and Sonali ji are fighting this battle. I think I will say this battle because probably it's not on the ground that there's a battle with arms and ammunitions, but it's a thought battle. What would I say? That y'all are fighting against the odds which are in the which are prevailing in the society. And I'm very much worried that this will be a new I think threat to everybody. I always tell in my speech, Pansab, that your age you had less things to do or to anything you wanted to do. It was just going out, eating food was a diversion. But today in 20th century, at one click, you will get to have 1 lakh good and bad things to see. So now is the challenge that how we take these youngsters, keep them motivated, see they don't go on the wrong path. And probably government, NGOs like Responsible Netism have been associated with this NGO for quite some time. And the best part is that I have met them on social media. So the importance of social media, we can see. I met them on Twitter, and then I got quite acquainted with these NGO. They have worked in Kolhapur also. They have given some programs for our teachers also in Kolhapur, and they have been always trying to do good in this regard. And we have been trying to help them as much as we can. Probably this fifth conference will certainly help out the problems coming in near future in this regard in the cyber world. I would say cyber world because all these problems are related to the cyber world. Probably we all have to come together and keep this going. Continuously going, we'll have to do it. Probably last time I talked with Unmesh ji that this subject should be taught in the classes, I think. Now we need to, Rajesh Panji will be able to elaborate more on it because he's working national level. So lot many issues he must be getting to know more than all of us. I think now we have to incorporate these things in the syllabus. That is what I feel. Because considering the pandemic, we have seen Online education has become the new norm. We don't know till how much time this COVID pandemic is going to continue. And considering the future also, work from home has become a new norm. And considering all this, the technology-driven lifestyle which everybody is taking, which everybody is adopting, we need to see we need to come up with solutions for this so that we can have an healthy and safe environment on the internet also, and so that the suicides which we talked about, which if we see the WHO figures, more suicides are there than more at any other crime or war. So what is the reason behind this? Are they not happy, or these things are making them frustrated? We have seen cases. I have seen myself. I was Home Minister previously also for 4 years, and this time also I'm having this opportunity. But I can see lot many issues like social media. They put up some things. As I said, fake news has become a norm now. It's like somebody gives a fake news, sends a fake WhatsApp. They are proud about it, that they have sent something disturbing, they have sent something misleading, and people are forwarding my fake news. That is that is giving them happiness, which is wrong. So I think mental illness or mental stability, we should focus on that. And if we can focus it at the early age of school going, I have got cases which I won't want to discuss openly, but cases from school where the parents have given the mobile to that child, and they don't know what has happened to the child, what access he's accessing on the internet. So all these issues, I think, when we say we need to reach internet to every corner of this state or the country at the same time, what are the challenges from the internet? What are the good and bad things which are coming out of it? That needs to be focused, I think. And responsible netism, I think that is a great initiative by these people. I appreciate them, and I'm very much happy that somebody is doing this and letting our future, probably securing the future of the youngsters in this state of Maharashtra and India. So I congratulate on the 5th conference of responsible netism. Wish you all the best, all the eminent speakers in this gathering. I would have loved to be there whole day, but as we know, we are just coming out of the pandemic, and past 6 months we have been literally stalled. The government has literally stalled. So probably the work has started past 15-20 days. We have been working quite hard, but still I would request Unmesh ji that whatever the eminent speakers have spoke in the day, if you could make a brief note of it and send me, I would love to go through it and implement. If there are any suggestions which need to be implemented in the state of Maharashtra, because IT department is with me and home department is with me. So through these both departments, if we can work out something and give a model from the state of Maharashtra to the country, I would be more than happy to do it. So as a state of Maharashtra is always been progressive in this regard. So we would come forward, and whatever the conclusions of this conclave will certainly help the country in large, and we will go forward and implement the suggestions which come up in today's conference. Thank you very much once again for inviting me, and wish you all the best. Rajesh ji, nice meeting you. Praful ji, because I can see only 3 of you on the screen, Sonali ji. So wish you all the best for this conference. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Patil sir. Thank you so much. That has been really encouraging and supportive of you for saying all that. And we definitely look forward to working with the government departments very closely. I now take the opportunity to request Lieutenant General Dr. Rajesh Pant to go ahead and give a speech. Over to you, sir.
Good morning, everyone, and thank you so much for giving me this honor. Firstly, I'm so impressed with what the Honorable Minister has spoken. It shows his involvement and passion in the subject, and at the level of leadership at which he is. it is so nice to hear his thoughts. Our Maharashtra Cyber Cell, we have always kept in touch with Mr. Brijesh Singh and Mr. Rajput, etc., and they're doing an excellent job. He mentioned Kolhapur also, and I was very nostalgic because my selection into the army, when it took place, I had gone to the selection center in Kolhapur, and I remember there was a temple with those elephants, etc. So it's really a small world. But coming to this unique conference that all of you have organized, my compliments. In fact, I had not heard this word netism earlier, frankly. But now it suddenly seems so important because it is all around us. We know that. So firstly, as far as the audience of this webinar is concerned, I'm told they are mostly educators. So please accept my compliments for doing such a noble work. Right since the time of the gurus, we have been respecting our teachers. And while in today's pandemic, we are all appreciating the work of the doctors. But I think right since the first human being was there on this earth, it is the teachers who have always been appreciated. So with that background, let me come to the subject of the day, that is on the cyber hygiene and the cyber security, especially against women and children especially. By the way, my daughter is also a clinical psychologist. So this subject is very close to my heart. And I will flag 2 or 3 issues because there are many speakers after this. So I will probably touch on issues which the others may not refer to. And let me start from the overall jungle and then maybe come to the trees and the leaves, etc. And the overall ecosystem. Today, there are 4 or 5 domains all around us. There is land, sea, air, and there is cyber. And in all the 3 domains of land, sea, and air, there are very clear rules. So in land, if you have to travel, you need passport. There are borders. In the roads, there are traffic rules. In the sea also, there are these sea lanes through which the trade takes place. There is an automatic identification system on every ship. In the air also, you are aware of the air traffic, how well it is controlled internationally. But cyber world is different. Unfortunately, there are no rules in cyber. And I'm talking at a very international level. There is a society called the UN Group of Government Experts, UNGGE, at the UN level, which has been basically created to make these rules of responsible state behavior, etc. And this society has been there for almost 20 years now, almost 20 years, starting from 2002 onwards. And presently the 6th UNGGE is in progress. It's a group of 25 countries. India is a member of that. And in fact, on 25th, the meeting of the 6th UNGGE is taking place. But what happened is in 2015, they created 11 norms of responsible state behavior. That means one state should not attack the critical infrastructure of other state. We should not harbor terrorists, etc. in cyberspace. But in the last 2017 meeting, the meeting collapsed because 2 clear sides emerged. One was the Russia-China lobby, and the other was the Europe and the American lobby. And the reason was that the entire internet is based around 13 root servers. That is the last part of the internet that, what is called as a TLD, the top level domain, the .in or the .com or the .org. And this is controlled by the root servers. And most of these root servers, almost 11 of them are in the US, one is in Europe and one is in Japan, etc. So understandably, the Russian and the Chinese lobbies said that why is this so West oriented? It should be distributed. Because if you have control over the root servers, you know what it leads to. Today, the minister also spoke of information, and information leads to intelligence. So it's a question of control. So they said, no, this is not acceptable, and we need a different system. In fact, what China has done recently is that they have proposed a new internet protocol to the ITU. ITU is the International Telecommunication Union. It's also a United Nations body. So a new internet is being created, and this is what is being referred to as the splinter net. So in the future, it is very likely that the internet may split into two. So why I'm saying is that this discord amongst the nation is being taken advantage of by the cyber criminals, because the attribution of the attacks is not there, and there is nobody trying to catch them, because there is a treaty called the Mutual Legal Assistance Treaty that does not seem to be working. The letter of rogatory, the judicial process does not seem to be working. International collaboration in cybercrime is not very good, let me share with you. So this atmosphere is being taken advantage of by the criminals, and that is why the large number of attacks are taking place. And as if that was not enough, there is something called the dark and the deep web. Most of you would have heard that the surface web is only, say, about 10% of the total internet resources. The 90% is the dark and deep web. That is where all the wrong things take place. Please don't make an effort to go there, because your credit card sales and even weapon sales and secrets and data, etc., that is being sold there. So, and there is nobody trying to stop that. So this is the environment in which the overall internet and the cyber system is there. So firstly, there are no rules in cyber, unlike the other domains of land, sea, and air. And secondly, the cyberspace is expanding. You see, today, there are about 4.5 billion users of the internet. So another 3 billion are there, and that will happen. It's just a matter of time. Secondly, there is a device called the Internet of Things, IoT, which is there in our houses, some Bell or camera or whatever, Alexa, for example. Now, presently, there are 17 billion IoT devices in the world, and they are saying that in the next 3 years, the moment 5G comes, this will become 30 billion devices. Because in the 5th generation of the telecom infrastructure, some of you may be aware of what is there in 5G. It is going to connect the Internet of Things. It is going to have your driverless cars, the Industry 4.0, etc. So this space is going to expand. So cyber world is going to expand exponentially. So again, I'm saying land, air, sea has very finite boundaries, but cyber world is expanding. Cyber world today internationally, there are people who are controlling it are not together. So it's not a very happy situation. So that's the first challenge that all of us must understand as to what is the background. The second important aspect is the fast nature of changes in technology. You see, the minister and me are probably in an age group where we call ourselves as digital immigrants. Not Sonali, of course, but people like Sonali and the millennials are digital natives. They have been born into the digital world. We have acquired it through our knowledge and studies, etc. So today, unlike earlier, and this is the message for the teachers also, sometimes the children know more than the teachers, right? So this is a big challenge as to how do we handle the situation where the children are finding out things and they are trying to give us solutions. So now coming back to the solution, we have to talk of the solution at a national level, and the solution lies in a very simple word called cyber hygiene. We have to inculcate a spirit of cyber hygiene amongst our children, and most of you are aware what cyber hygiene involves. It involves teaching them the responsible use, giving examples of the harm that can be caused, the importance of not putting unnecessary information on social media, avoiding personal details, especially with relation to your personal identity information, using the virtual world for a limited time only. That is very important. The real world, we have to make them understand, is much more interesting, because we've all grown up in a world where we used to play games in the evenings, etc., and a lot of outdoors and traveling and etc. was there. And this is what leads to good health and mind, body, spirit development. So we have to teach them all these things about privacy versus security. It's like driving a car, you need a license. But today we are giving this mobile device to our children where they can send a tweet to the Prime Minister of India. So it's a very powerful thing that is being given to them. So they need some sort of a license. I would strongly recommend some sort of a certification. In fact, one organization I had gone to, I'm just sharing, they had a concept of cyber belts, belts as we wear around our waist. And they had a white belt, a blue belt, a red belt, and a black belt. So white belt meant that you could protect, you know how to protect your own personal computer and your personal device, right? And blue belt meant that you could, you knew the cyber protection techniques of protecting an enterprise or an organization. And the red belt meant that you could also do some offensive sort of cyber actions also. And the black belt was everything else plus the forensics. So that organization had trained its personnel, and anyone who was sitting in front of a computer had to be some belt or the other. Otherwise, you want to do manual work, you don't want to study, then you do manual work on a piece of paper. But if you want to use the power of a computer, you have to be some belt or the other so that you know what it's all about. So I'm just giving an example that this was an organization where I had gone and they were practicing this. So finally, let me tell you that the Government of India under the Ministry of Home Affairs has created this organization called I4C, the Indian Cybercrime Coordination Center. When I joined about 2 years back, I found that 90% of the complaints that were being reported on this portal were related to financial crimes, whereas officially they were only to handle the crime against women and children. So we've done a lot of work in the last couple of years. There are 7 verticals now, very clear verticals. And if you go to cybercrime.gov.in, today you can report any crime. And it will go to the concerned state and you'll get a registration number, etc. And my only worry is that when I find that the crimes are reported, out of 1,000 crimes, only about 15 get converted into FIRs. So I'm talking across the state, across the nation. This is the average I'm seeing. So that is a matter of concern as to why only the complaints are being taken and why the action is not being taken. And one of the reasons for that is that the prosecution part has not changed. You see, the judicial part and the admissibility of digital evidence and retaining that chain of trust, etc. So the loop has not yet been completed. And this is what I will request. And I again come back to Maharashtra, where I find that it's a very progressive nation from the cybercrime point of view. It's always been ahead. Some other states now are catching up. The other day, Tamil Nadu IT Secretary had me in a program where they have started a blockchain-based system and a number of new initiatives. They have created a security operations center, a very modern SOC. Telangana is coming up. But Maharashtra, let me say, was the leader. So my compliments to Minister Patil. Education of cyber, we are now, my recommendation to NCERT is from class 3 onwards. And you would have seen the recent initiatives of coding that are there. These codathons have started, and there's a lot of stress on coding by children because, as Sonali and the others have also said, that this is the future. So there are a lot of things to talk about. My only concern is about the interstate coordination. You see, these cyber criminals, they are very smart. They initiate the process from a state where it is difficult. They take advantage of political differences also. So the police going there, and because the crime has to be registered where the offense has taken place. But for the investigation, they have to go somewhere else. So this is another area where we will have to find a solution. Ideally, there should be an online system where we should all be, exchanging information on a portal. The NATGRADE, etc., is coming up. But this is a lot of work that we have to do in the future. So thank you very much for giving me this honor. It's a very unique conference. I have seen your program. You have some excellent speakers. And I wish the event all success. Jai Hind.
Thank you so much, Lieutenant General Rajesh Pant, sir. And we really are looking forward to working with all the concerned departments, as you have always been encouraging us to. And going ahead now, I request for the lighting of the digital lamp. Can we go ahead with that, please? Thank you for this digital light getting lamped here. The whole thing looks really pretty. And yes, now we will move ahead with our next speaker, and he is Mr. Purnendu Kumar from Cyber Peace Foundation. I request him to give his speech. Mr. Purnendu Kumar, over to you.
Thank you. First of all, a welcome to all our eminent guests here. I'm Purnendu Singh from Cyber Peace Foundation. And as we know, this is a joint initiative of Responsible Netism and Cyber Peace Foundation. I welcome all on this conference. And I'll just pick it up from where Dr. Pant has left. See, one thing that we see in the society is that we've gone users. We've all, with the advent of technology, everybody has become a user. But how much literacy do we have regarding that usage is definitely questionable. So the only one mantra that we are working on right now, apart from all other things that we work here in Cyber Peace Foundation, and obviously Responsible Netism also is working on that, is awareness, awareness, and awareness. Because the more the users know about how to use it optimally and safely, the better we are. Then we run a lot of campaigns to educate users of different age groups. And like we heard it earlier, there is a population which are digital immigrants, and then there are digital natives. So the difference is obviously very much seen in each and every household. Every grandparent is going to the grandchildren asking how to do this, how to do that. WhatsApp, Facebook. As users, we definitely, I will not say all, but most of the users, they are not aware of the safe practices, of the safety, mechanisms, or of the options that the platforms has given us to keep our, information safe and the data safe and the usage, so that we get minimal issues out of using it. So again, the key lies in awareness. The more we read about it, the more we, try to practice it, the better we are in using it. I'll move on to another thing which we say, again, it is information, like removal of content. A lot of people don't know about it. Not every time is that we need to go to a police station or file a complaint or file an FIR. There, the platforms have given us options to go, request for a removal of content that is, not okay, that we do not find correct, or that is abusive. So, like, I'll move around only one thing, which is awareness. The more we use awareness techniques, the more we spread it across. Because another thing that we see is we know one thing, we don't spread it. We need to. Us now, and like all the educators here, I'm sure the students are much more equipped in technology than what we are as educators. So we need to upgrade ourselves. As with the advent of technology, we need to know, we don't need to be experts. Common sense works in the virtual world also. We need to use the common sense here as well. And again, like Mr. Pant mentioned, that we need to have some kind of a license before we use it, like the belt example that I have given. I'm definitely very much impressed with that. And we must, from the government side also, in the schools also, we must implement something of that sort, so that the users are categorized. When we categorize user as, maybe beginners, intermediate, experts, and super experts, that is when as a society we'll start moving ahead in a safer direction. Because definitely this is a boundaryless horizon, plus the kind of crimes happening, and the newer crimes that are coming in. We've seen very recent example of a person resigning from a job because of a phishing attack. It's very sad. And it's not just one, it's happening, numerous. Definitely it is underreported in the society, in the administration, and plus it goes a long way. So like I started, I will end again with the same thing. We just need to, pull up our socks, move forward, and keep spreading the awareness as much as we can, because in the next few years, as we are seeing, like the fifth generation is coming and more of new things are, we are going to embrace a newer technology altogether. We at least need to be, so much aware that we are able to use it properly rather than getting into more trouble and not reaping the exact benefits of the technology. So with this, I'll end this, and I congratulate everyone here and welcome everyone. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Mr. Purnendu. And we now move ahead with our next speaker, that is Ms. Sonali Patankar. Sonali, over to you.
Thank you, Praful. I am so humbled by the presence of Honorable Satesh Patil sir and Dr. Pant sir, and hearing your advice, hearing your support, hearing your interest in the work that we've been doing is extremely encouraging for us, sir. We promise to be in touch, and we promise to work towards making India cyber safe collectively, and especially protecting our children, because they are the ones that we hold the country. They're the ones who will protect our country also in the future. Also, I would like to acknowledge everybody who's registered here. This conference today is dedicated to all educators who have struggled in the pandemic to use technology and reach out to children. So a big pat on your back for adapting with technology, adapting with this new challenge that we are with. I really hope that through this conference, we all help you to adapt and be at peace with technology, and so that we can collectively not just use this as a tool of facilitation, but also as an empowerment. And I think we can collectively look at protecting ourselves and our children in cyberspace much more effectively than we are doing today. So, sir, we think this is a very, very collective opportunity where not all of us want to work fragmentedly, but we want to work with your guidance, with your direction, so that we can put in energies and channelize all forces that can come together to make India cyber safe. I once again thank all of you for your gracious presence, and you have been extremely motivating and encouraging. So thank you for joining us, and we wish all the participants an awe-inspiring session. We promise to make this day memorable for all of you. Over to you, Praful.
Thank you so much, Sonali, and thank you once again to all the eminent speakers who participated in our inaugural session. And with this, we come to the end of the first session, and we now move on to our next session, which is the keynote.